Former Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba again one of the key witnesses in a corruption case in the Palmridge Magistrate Court today. Setheo Engineering was awarded a tender in 2015 to refurbish an electricity substation in Eldorado Park. However, an internal investigation found that while 6 payments were made to the company, very little work was done. Mashaba reported to the matter to the authorities. He was mayor at the time. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala has more.
Former Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba has just been in the witness box speaking in the court case of Setheo versus the state versus Setheo Engineering. I want to bring him in to speak to us about this. And I mean, back then when you went to speak to law officials and to speak about what you have noticed that was taking place in the city, what was happening?
Well, what happened is when I took over as the mayor of the city of Johannesburg early in 2017, when we started working on our new budget cycle, our officials had to go to all the projects to see how far those projects were. And unfortunately, this particular one, it was the upgrade of the Eldorado Park substation. This matter was brought to my attention that money was paid and not just one payment, I think about 5 or 6 payments are paid, but there was no work done. The work that they claimed was done could not really be over R1 million. I then requested them to give it to Group Forensic and Investigation Services under General Sibia to investigate it further, and a few weeks or so later came back to me to really confirm what city officials and MMC had indicated to me. I then requested for me to go and do a site visit and requested city power officials to invite the owners of the Setheo Engineering. I didn't really know them at the time. And when I got to site, they could not obviously really give us sufficient evidence as to why there was no building. They've said to us some of the equipment is still with their suppliers and everything like that. But obviously, GVs and city officials were really concerned about this. And for that reason, then we then as a city decided to take this matter up with the works.
And of course, one would think you were the key witness, but when you were just inside, they were saying that you might have jumped the gun. Do you believe in that?
Well, I'm actually quite proud that I jumped the gun, if that is the case, because I think you heard me in court that there's always 2 sides to a story, because I think their defense is actually trying to get me to really believe what they're saying. In the meantime, when we laid this complaint, we had evidence, enough evidence to that effect, and I have got, and I had full confidence in not only GFs, even some of the officials within City Power who were not happy with what was happening. They're the ones who actually confirmed to us that there's some malfeasance happening with that contract.
Thank you very much. Herman Mashaba speaking to us, and I want to bring in NPA to speak to us. And I mean, we just heard the evidence. There seems to be poking holes on what has been provided by the state, almost as saying that you don't have a strong case. Is that so?
Well, we can assure the public and South Africans at large that we are ready, we have been ready to put a formidable case before court. We'll present all relevant evidence, and the court will then pronounce on the strength of the state case. But as the state, we have our ducks in a row. We are ready to proceed with this trial. As you are aware that another witness has just continued their testimony, a witness who had to be removed for fear of their life, the former CFO of the city of Johannesburg, who is now retired. So it just shows the nature of the case that we are dealing with. But nonetheless, as the NPA, we will do our work without fear, favor, or prejudice, and we will ensure that at the end of the day, justice is served.